What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Next Gen podcast. You got our normal crew so far, which will be changing next week, most likely.
Yeah, it will be.
You guys will see that later. But we got myself, we got Chris, we got Abby, and we got Andre. You know, before we hit the record button, we were just talking about social media, and Andre made the comment that he said, well, what was your Instagram profile when you were a kid? And I was like, I didn't even have Instagram when I was a kid. There wasn't even Instagram when I was a kid, which means I'm aging myself. But
this is a fair point.
I can't remember the last time. I don't remember whenever Instagram was legit created. I don't know what year that was, but I downloaded it very close to that year, and I viewed it more of a editing software, photo software, than a sharing software. Yeah, and it was a sharing one, but no one really used it like that yet.
It was more for
it started in 2010, so 12 years ago.
I was in grade 10. Grade 9. Yeah, I'd have been grade 9.
Yeah.
Grade 9. I downloaded it legit one of those years. And if I go far enough back in my Instagram feed, I'll have a post that's right around that time.
I think I downloaded it pretty much when it came out too, but I was young. I was in grade 4 or something like that. And
4?
Yeah. Here's the thing, back in the day when Instagram first started, I feel like my social media wasn't as big of a thing. There was Facebook, but the idea of Instagram was totally new. So I didn't really understand that I should be older to have it. So I just downloaded it. Either way, a bunch of people did this because I had classmates and stuff like that did that. And that's why I said, what was your childhood Instagram? Because back in the day when you're a kid, you just find the dumbest things and post them on your Instagrams. Yep. And I would just have random memes and all this other crap that now I look back at and I'm that was so cringy. Why would I ever do that? But
were they even considered memes back then?
I don't know, but it was just the dumbest stuff. I don't Kelvin and Hobbes jokes that I just as a child, I was in grade 4. I thought it was funny, but it was it's hard to look back at and realize that I did that. And we're one of my friends had a childhood Instagram profile that was just his name and then loves God, and it was everybody made fun of him for it when he got to high school, not for the fact that of course we all love God, but it's it was just so cringy, and he had all these posts and he couldn't get back into his account to delete it because he forgot the password. So everybody would just hold it against him, all these stupid posts.
One of my good friend's first email address on Gmail was supposed to be when you first make your first email, it's some girls make it super, it's never your name, it's some weird name, I don't know, Jesus Chick 28,
Cat Lover 123,
Cat Lover 123. Well, he wanted to make his serious danger at gmail.com but he spelled it serious, so it's SARIOUS, serious danger at gmail.com.
Nice.
It was so funny. I made fun of him for so long. I'm so what's your email? We're grade 10. He's serious danger. I'm what do you mean serious danger? What does that even mean? He's well, I made it. I just spelled serious wrong. And I was that sucks. It's just is your complete email for the rest of your life, and you just forgot.
Most people my age had that kind of experience where it's you have all people with these old accounts that they can't get into, and it's just old cringy posts and stuff like that. But
it's what's your email? It's a childhood email, but it's fighterNotLover@hotmail.com.
Oh my word.
It's just so cringy.
My email wasn't even that bad. The email that I made when I was my first email, I still use. It's literally my name and a couple initials.
Yeah, that's what I feel it should be now.
Yeah.
My childhood was Facebook, not Instagram. Right. And by childhood, I mean grade 7 to grade 10, 11 was Facebook.
Yeah.
My grade 6, grade 5 was MSN.
MSN.
Nice, dude.
Remember MSN?
Nobody knows what that is.
MSN, for those of you listening, was essentially an older version of Facebook Messenger, but before we had phones. So you'd go home, you'd get on your desktop at home because you didn't have laptops. And then you logged in, and then all of a sudden it'd be a notification pop up saying, Zach is online. And then you could chat with your friends by typing. And that's where a lot of the stuff originated with BRB and G2G and TTFN and all these acronyms. Ta-ta for now.
I've never heard that before.
Sorry, what?
TTFN.
I've
never heard that one before?
No. I thought that was
No,
TSN.
I heard that, but it's from Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, really? That's
Because
what people used to use all the time.
Tigger would
MSN.
always say TTFN.
Yeah, so that's probably where it's from then, is Winnie the Pooh. But they used to use it all the time at MSN.
Never.
To the point where they upgrade their I don't know, like on Instagram, I guess you have a bio now, or maybe a story that would kind of be like this. But MSN had like on your profile, you could have a sentence that would say like what you're doing or that you're busy or those things. So people like in the shower, BRB or something like that. And so you'd know not to message that person because they're like, oh, they'll change it once they get back kind of thing. But that's where like I remember leaving grade 6 and be like, all right, well, I'll chat with you tonight on MSN. They're like, yeah, sounds good. See you on MSN. I'm like, yeah, sounds good. It was just the weirdest thing. And then Facebook happened.
That is weird.
It was Facebook games is all it really was for me.
Farmville?
No, I didn't play Farmville.
8-ball pool, baby.
Yeah, the pool was. I probably played pool a little bit, but there was a couple good ones. Did you guys do like Neopets and stuff way back in the day?
Wait, was that like the little like
I wanna see
digital?
what
No, that was like
is.
Tamagotchi.
That was Tamagotchi, but Neopets was like I
Did
guess
that.
maybe like Club Penguin for you guys.
Oh,
No,
dude.
I did have an account, but like by the time I got into it, it was like way later. I was like a Webkins.
Dude, Webkins was lit, man.
Webkins was
Dude,
where it was.
I
at.
had a Webkins, but I never went online with it because my mom wouldn't let me.
Yikes.
Just like iPhone games or like App Store games.
Angry Birds.
Really? Still?
No.
Oh, I was like, holy.
I don't think I have any games.
Like
the one
currently?
game that I still have since I was in like grade 6 is Dragon Vale.
Was your grade ever into like Clash of Clans? 'Cause
Yeah, I
know my
wasn't,
grade
though.
was super into it.
So that was a 20-something game for me. Like that was like I was like 18, 19 when everyone's into it.
Clash of Clans.
Yeah.
Well, like
I wasn't. I never. I literally made a pact. I'm not getting into this. You know when you like don't do something, not because you didn't want to, but then you've done it. You haven't done it. You've been in that form too long now to give into the game, and now you're just like, I don't play that, and I'm not going to because I haven't this whole time. We downloaded a game recently. Me and Jess. She downloaded first, then showed me called BeatStar. That's the thing though, right? Like I think that genuinely my productivity when I learned about all these apps and stuff, not anymore. I've learned a good amount now to not like I can put the phone down and go back to work or like get what I need to get done around the house or whatever. But like when they first came out, man, it was a serious problem. Like it was like you just pull your phone out and it's just like you're just swiping, or you go onto Instagram or like you don't even know why you're pulling your phone out, but you just unlock it and just click Instagram.
That is like, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like,
And I'm like, okay, this is a problem.
Yeah. I remember me and a few of my friends, like right out of high school, decided to delete Instagram for a while because we're like, oh, there's a bunch of people doing it. Like, I guess I do spend quite a bit of time on Instagram. I'll just delete it and see what happens. And I wouldn't say that I'm somebody that loves social media. Like, I would say that I go on it a fair amount, but it's not like I need to be on it all the time. And I thought to myself, I was like, honestly, I'm not even going to miss it. Like, it's going to be fine. And the amount of times I found myself just opening my phone and trying to find the app and then realizing, oh crap, like I don't even have it. And then realizing that like, it's just so weird that your brain automatically does that. It was just crazy. I was like, wow, what the heck?
That's exactly what like, I feel like most people are. There are some people I feel like that like rely on it for their like everything. But then there's a large portion of people that I could go without it. But when they do go without it, they realize that their brain's already like unlocking, swiping once, clicking the top left folder and clicking the top left app and then realizing it's not the app anymore, you know? It's complete addiction. But that's the difficult part, right? Everyone wonders why they can't focus and why they can't do things and why they don't get good marks and why they don't I don't know, have good relationships anymore. It's because our whole entire world and what we know, what we believe has all been completely focused on like this online experience with people, and like that doesn't help anything.
I think there's always pros and cons. We were talking about this in small groups a couple weeks ago with the guys, and we were like, do you guys think that it's like social media has done, I don't know do you remember what specifically the question was?
Has done more good than evil or something?
Or good than bad, I guess. And most of them said that they would say social media has done more bad than good. But I think it's easy to stereotype social media that way because it's like, oh yeah, all it does is cause you to be antisocial and you just go on it to waste time and all these different things. And of course, I don't believe that that's true. I think that social media does have a lot of pros. Like you can see what your friends are up to. You can learn stuff on social media. Like there's so many different things, but it's all in moderation, right? It's like if you find yourself that you can't be productive doing something because you're always going to social media, you probably have a problem. Or you should probably be more intentional, I guess, guess, with the amount of time you give yourself for these kind of different things. Because if you don't, it's just so easy. Like at this point, it's just, open your phone, go to Instagram. And like the amount of time that I find that I do it when I'm in like a group of people and I feel uncomfortable, or it's like I'm out and about.
You're by yourself.
Or I'm by myself and I'm like, there's a bunch of people around me and it's like, I just go straight to my phone to Instagram and I'm just scrolling through and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I don't even want to be on Instagram.
How
right
many
now,
potential friendships have you not gotten or cultivated exactly because you were unapproachable because you were on your phone? And if you weren't on your phone, that person might have said something to you or made a comment around you, which may have started a friendship or not even a friendship, just a conversation, right? Because that's what I usually do too. People like, and not even subconsciously, I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy that aspect of things. But when you're just standing waiting, it's like we've been trained to just pull the phone out and just like go on because it's like, oh, I'm bored. I got to kill 15 seconds right now. You know what I mean? And that's literally what it is. It's like, I'm going to pull my phone out for 25 seconds and then, it's like to the point where you're playing a game and you can't handle a 30-second ad break. You know? Where you're just like, oh
Close
my gosh.
the app and
I know. You're just like, I'm like, oh my God. You put it down and you're just like, 30 seconds. Like, holy. Like, but that's the sad part. And if that doesn't give you a vibe of like something seriously wrong, right? The question would be also, has food done more harm than good? You know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's like the food isn't the problem.
It's you.
Yeah. It's like
it's all in moderation.
Like food has done a lot of pros, but it also has done a lot of.
What's one of the pros keeps you alive.
Here's the weird thing. Think about this. I don't know if you guys experience this the same way, but like a lot of my friends in like junior high, but it was like some of those relationships were almost strictly texting at the beginning. And it was like, I got to know this person through texting, not actually talking to them. And then it's like, of course, after like you talk to them in person, all this different stuff, but it's like, there's a part of having social media and texting, all that stuff that's great because you can get to know a person really well through it. But yeah, it was just kind of,
without social media or Facebook, I would have never met Jess.
Exactly. So
and that's the way it worked. And I was like, wow. So it's like that. There's pros, obviously, to those things.
Yeah.
Like there's tons of pros with social media and with these apps and different things because you can talk to people way easier. I've had great phone conversations with people, great texting conversations with people. So it's like, obviously, there's tons of pros, but just like food, right? It's like you can go to McDonald's every day or you can really try to eat something healthy. And I think social media has its place, and if you don't make sure you give it the place in your life and not allow it to make its place, it makes its place pretty quickly, and then it's just like the thing that you just always go to and refer to all the time.
Is that a good thing though? Because so you said that social media is a good thing because it makes it's like easier to talk to people. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing though, because now I feel like a lot of younger kids or the younger generation feels like it's hard to talk to people in person. Like there was a couple people that I was talking to last Friday in youth and they were like, yeah, we don't want to talk to people. And I was like, why? They're like, because they're scary. And I was like, what's scary about them? And they just couldn't. And it was like, I feel like social media has built such a like familiarity with like exactly what you said. You can just start a relationship with talking with someone. And I feel like it's almost like the easy way out kind of thing where it's like, if you don't like the person or if something comes up or it's like confrontational, now you just don't have to talk to them.
And that's exactly what we were saying before. Like it's finding that place, right? If Instagram or like social media is filling the place in your life like that, then yeah, it's not good. I physically couldn't have talked to Jess without Facebook because we lived in different cities, right? She lived in Winnipeg, I live in Calgary. So I wouldn't have been able to even start a conversation when I wanted to. Yeah.
At her door. Like, I know you don't know me, but I saw you and I figured out where you live. So.
Yeah.
My Lord.
I just wanted to talk.
And it's like, obviously, like we talked, like right now, it's like social, like technology, social media, FaceTime, phone calls is the only thing that allows me to talk to my family in Calgary, right? So that's what I'm talking about when it's like talking to people. But then there are people that use it as like, this person's 4 blocks away from me. I'd rather just text them than like actually go hang out. It definitely has its place on that, but I think people take it way too far and use the convenience to the point where they are making themselves socially anxious. They're making themselves like depressed at times because they have to have something in order to be happy when it's not the case. You know what I mean?
Do you think social media has done more harm or good if you had to choose one?
I would say more harm because the majority of people don't know how to use it properly.
What about you, Andre?
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like there's enough people out there that can have social media in moderation that it's done more good, but it's done harm. So it's like, I don't know how to gauge that.
Abby, what about you?
I guess it depends which perspective you're looking at it from. Like, if you're looking at it for teenagers, no, it probably did more harm than good. But, like, even small businesses use them all the time, and I think it helps them a lot. So I guess it depends which side or where you're looking from.
That's exactly it. I guess my question is, too, how much did the average person compare their life or who they are to someone else before and after social media, too? Right? Because social media is this easy way for you to lie your way to whatever you want to be and become whoever you want to be. And there's been like people who've done it in the past without social media, but then when the social media comes in, you can legitimately be whoever you want.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And you can build that entire profile of someone you're not because you compare yourself to others. So I think a big problem too is people have this inability to be content with who they are, and rather than always comparing themselves. And again, I think there's a good comparing side. I think there is a side where it's like you view someone and you go, again, it comes from more of a respect comparison than it does like a
jealousy.
Jealousy, yeah. What's the way that you guys have, because we talked about social media, and obviously now I use social media very different, but there's certain things that actually change in my life when I use too much of social media or when I'm on my phone too much or those types of things. I find I get like more irritable, way more testy. Like if like I don't have the patience with people or just normal things that we should have patience with. Little things like that I don't know why. I don't know what the science is behind that, but the second you go on like a social media cleanse where you're like, yeah, I got to get off this and just like more so work on my like meaningful personal connections with people rather than just some online thing. But what are some things that you guys have done to, I don't know, not allow social media to affect your emotions and your life?
What I've done in the past anyway is just like take a month off. As hard as that sounds, like maybe don't do a month, do a week, do a few days or something like that. But I find like if you can step away and then reevaluate, come back and just see what life is like without it and then see what life is like with it and kind of see potentially where you're going wrong or if you feel better without it or, you know, I've done that myself. Yeah, it helps you put things in perspective for sure and realize what you think you can handle and maybe set some boundaries for yourself and all those different things. So it's a good idea.
Are you happy?
I just I think it's more of, for me, I watch what's on my page. Like when you go to like Discover, there's a bunch of different videos and then some of them are based off of what you're viewing. So if there's something that makes me feel bad or if it's like super negative, I'll just go to like, there's an option to see fewer posts like this and then I'll just do that and then it kind of goes away.
Yeah, the way you use social media for sure. I wouldn't even think to do what you just said to do. I would never be like, oh, I don't want to see this again. I would be like, whatever. And for me, it's not even the fact that negatives are coming up on my page. It's just the fact of being on your phone sometimes just promotes this negative energy almost within your life.
I don't know. I don't really use social media.
There you go. So like, you're on the plus side of that.
You're good.
Biggest social media platform I use is YouTube. I don't even really use Instagram. And all I use YouTube for is like gaming stuff.
Seriously. Yep. Social media, like we said, it can make or break you for sure. And I think it's important to realize that it can really take some big,
for sure. All right.
Big things.
Well, I think we've hit our time. We hope that you enjoyed this podcast. If there's one thing that I guess that we could leave with them for social media, what would it be? I don't know anybody go.
Be cautious.
Be cautious. Okay. Good point. So be careful how much time you spend. Be careful with what you're consuming. I think that that's definitely a good way to at least start kind of being intentional with how you're using social media and realizing the effect that it actually has on you.
Yeah, like everything in moderation, like we said before, right? Yep. Like everything in moderation. And that means set that moderation early. You know what I mean? Like even if it's like you start off with 3 hours of screen time for Instagram, like I don't care. Like just start with something and start to limit yourself a little bit and test yourself. You'll see how much better your life gets when you start to limit some of those things and get outside more, go for a walk, hang out with friends, talk face to face. You know what I mean? Like that's what this world needs. So
thanks everybody for listening. Catch us on Instagram. We're going to be posting reels there, YouTube, as well as Spotify and Apple Music. We will catch you guys next week. Peace out, everybody.
Sweet.